Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to begin this analysis with a story. And this story is taken from one of the very greatest Greek mythologies. This story is about a man who was believed to have been cursed by the Greek gods. Now, his curse was one that he was to live with, he was to endure and tolerate as long as he was alive. And the gods had given him a punishment to roll a big stone from the bottom of a mountain all the way to the top. Once he was at the peak of the mountain, he was to push that stone to the other side of the mountain. Now, the story has it that this man would roll and push this stone all the way and he would reach the peak. Now, when he wanted to now push it to go to the other side, the stone would roll back to the bottom of the mountain and he would climb down, very tired and exhausted, disappointed, a very painful ordeal. He would start afresh. He would roll, push the stone all the way to the top of the mountain. Once he was preparing to push it to the other side, the stone would slip and roll back to the bottom of the mountain where it started. It is said Syphilis repeated this ordeal for the entire period of his life until he was dead. The reason I'm giving you this story, I have looked at the life of Raila Odinga, and sometimes I'm forgiven to even try to liken him to the story of syphilis. Raila Odinga is a man who has worked hard for this country. He has paid because he has been detained for a period of 10 good years. Raila fought for the second liberation. He fought the one-party state, and together with the other gallant men and women, they paid dearly. And as a result of that, we now have a multi-party state. Raila was detained without trial. Raila fought to give us a new constitution together with many other like-minded Kenyans. And today, we enjoy devolution courtesy of Raila Odinga. But anytime we are approaching an election year, Raila, a man who is loved, would pull crowds, and its supporters would say, "This is home and dry, Guinea was a cow." But after elections, Raila would come back disappointed, dejected, telling us that the votes were rigged. He would head to the courts, and the courts would also rule against him. Then Raila, very resilient, a statesman, would forgive those who have stolen his votes. He would wait for another 5 years, then goes for an election, puts up a very vigorous campaign, very colorful, very big following. The supporters would say, "This is the moment." And during the last campaign, Raila has a very big crowd and people are saying, "This time round, we have it." And then the same thing would repeat itself. It's a cycle that continues. I was shocked that after campaigns, and Raila had assured people that he's very hopeful that he's going to win the African Union Commission seat, another blow, another setback was reported. This time round, we are told that the SADC has instructed its member states or her member states to vote for the Madagascar candidate, one of their candidates. This man has got a very difficult name, Richard Randriamandrato of Madagascar. And this is really a setback because Raila was really counting on the SADC votes to face his major competitor, the Djibouti candidate Mohamud. This letter was written by the SADC Secretary General Elias Magosi, And many people, many experts now feel that maybe it is over for Raila Amolo Odinga because the Francophone countries are believed to be voting. Historically speaking, they always vote as a bloc. And Raila really needed the members of the SADC to vote for him if he had to trounce the Djibouti candidate. Now, this has really shocked many because all along they have assured Raila of their support. Now, countries that belong to the SADC include Angola, Botswana, Comoros, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Among those countries, almost nearly all of them had assured Raila of their support. And people do not understand why they had to wait up to the 11th hour. Today is Thursday, and we only have, in fact, today is Friday as I do this video. So tomorrow, that election is taking place. Now, they are writing this letter at a time when there is no even time for negotiations. Why did they have to wait for the last minute? And many people believe that maybe it is because of William Ruto's statements and position on the war on Eastern Congo. When William Ruto reported that he had talked to the president of France, Cameron, as far as the war in Congo is concerned, and many African states were asking, why would William Ruto rush to speak to Cameron instead of engaging the other African leaders? And they felt this is the height of betrayal. And when all these campaigns started, many Kenyans had questioned the ability of William Ruto to help Raila Amolo Odinga, because William Ruto does not enjoy a cordial relationship with most of these presidents, Uganda, Tanzania, Congo, even the northern Sudan. In one way or the other, they have rubbed shoulders the negative way. And so many people feel that this change of heart and the last minute U-turn could have been contributed by William Samoei Ruto. Back at home, there are people who are saying Raila should win this seat, just to prove that he's capable, because there's been this notion that Raila can never be elected. Others were saying Raila should come back and help us try and take Kasongo home because people are tired. But ladies and gentlemen, Raila had said if he wins, well and good. If he loses, all the same, because Raila is not new to the controversial losses for the 4 times that he has contested as a president. Ever since 2007, 2013 and 2017, he believes he has been winning those elections. And so, ladies and gentlemen, fear and panic has already gripped Raila's and Ruto's side, because as the policy demands, Ruto is supposed to sponsor his name, which he did. He's supposed to campaign for him. He tried. There is a very big, well-oiled secretariat, and in fact, there was a controversy when we heard that 100 MPs were lining up to go and offer Raila moral support. But in the event that Raila loses this election, it is going to backfire on William Samoei Ruto. Number one, there are people who believe by now that William Ruto was only but managing Raila Amolo Odinga. He knew very well Raila would not win. Just the same way, people are saying that when Raila got into a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, Uhuru did that, promising Raila, I will support you and all that. We saw Uhuru campaigning, trying to persuade and convince his people to vote for Raila, but they didn't. Now, people like Robert Alai, Honorable Babu Wino, are saying that it was a long con. And they're saying that Uhuru Kenyatta never meant well for Raila. He had the deep state and everything, yet he allowed the victory slip from their hands, and William Ruto took over. So William Ruto is going to suffer the same fate. Staunch supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga are going to say it was a long con. And many people have already started alleging that when William Ruto went to Ishaweri, they were to cement the idea of trying to manage Raila. And they believe that after William Ruto gave Raila some positions, some of his members were given positions in the cabinet, that was enough for him. So this is going to be a very big debate as Raila comes back home. The opponents of Raila are also going to make merry, and they are also going to start spreading this allegation that Raila can never win anything. I have heard this story that and politics is very funny, that people are saying that Raila was cast by his father. That is utter nonsense. There isn't any father who can curse his son. As a matter of fact, on the contrary, I understand that Oginga Odinga really loved Raila Amolo Odinga. He knew this was the son that was going to take over from him, politically speaking. And Raila has worked hard over the years to ensure that he becomes not only the Luo kingpin, but he has spread his wings so much that he has been accepted in all the corners of the country. But they're going to spread this narrative, this awkward narrative that this man can never win anything. It is going to get to the hearts of the followers of Raila Amolo Odinga. And this is going to be a defining moment if Raila loses that seat. It is going to be a moment, a litmus test for the broad-based government, because many believe that Raila is going to give William Ruto sleepless nights if he loses that seat. As a matter of fact, before he went, he had said abductions must stop, and that will be the beginning. He will start talking about Ruto's recent declaration that he had abolished the strict vetting of the Somali community as they're given IDs. And that is a very big discussion that has formed a bone of contention. And of course, you all know that recently, when the courts had declared that the Azimio was the majority party in parliament, Moses Masika Wetangula thwarted the decision of the courts. So those are the matters that Raila Amolo Odinga can just come back and start from there. That's why I'm telling you that fear has gripped Ruto's side. But I understand that all is not lost, because there are 55 member states and the winner must get 33, which is 2/3 majority of the votes. And some people are trying to analyze that even if the Francophone countries are going to vote as a bloc, they might not get 33 votes. And so they must go to the second round, the number 1 and number 2. And so if the members of the SADC, the 16 members of the SADC, vote for their candidate from Madagascar, then the Francophone vote for Mohamud, then the others vote for Raila. Then they are going to go for the second round, and that is when we are going to see exactly. And that will now depend on Raila's personal connection with the other leaders. But others feel that it is over for Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to submit to you that if Raila loses these elections, then on my own, I will equate Raila Amolo Odinga to syphilis, who had been cast by the gods. Raila has everything, but anytime he rolls this stone to the top of the mountain, it rolls back. He doesn't get the effort to push it past the top to go to the other side. And don't get me wrong. Many people are praying that Raila gets it. Others are saying that he must fail. Depending on which political divide you sit, you all know why you are praying and what you are praying for. But this is going to be very difficult for William Ruto to convince Raila supporters that he indeed did his best. They're going to tell him it was a long con. And I don't know what to think, but we need to wait and see, because voting is Saturday. Let us wait and see the result.